Hey guys, I'm Brandon.
Hey, and I'm Travis.
Really, I just wanted to show that our lapel mics are, mine is in Bruce Campbell's crotch.
Yeah, if mine was that, we would be standing awkwardly close together. Hey everybody, welcome to Walking Dead Fantasy League Week 5.
Week 5?
Yeah. We are going episode by episode with The Walking Dead as we recap the shows and assign points to various tasks, almost none of which took place in this episode. Brandon, what did you think about this episode? I didn't write down the title for it, so it's
now.
That's a
and then I'll just put that in later.
I think this episode was, as far as points are concerned, about as high scoring as any of my real fantasy football.
Hey-o!
Hey-o!
Yeah, I ran over here during halftime of Monday Night Football because the Los Angeles Chargers are. No. Anyway,
that they're probably having such a bad season because they're like, we're moving to Los Angeles anyways.
It's like when the Thunder tanked in their last Seattle season so that they could guilt-free go to Oklahoma City.
Fear the Los Angeles
walking zombies.
So this episode, right? The whole lot of, we'll get to the points obviously later, but the most important thing is that we're back in Alexandria. Somehow Michonne like showed up out of nowhere. Like she's just all of a sudden there.
Yeah, they show her like stumble back with a few people. Rick comes running in at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Somehow he got out of the RV surrounded by zombies, and now he's just full sprint, like over the gate.
Yeah. And somehow like he doesn't kill anything.
He pushes a zombie over.
Like just throwing bows.
Just like stab it. Stab one. Come on. That's all we got.
Yeah, just one. Just one is all we got. And that's all you need for a win. Other things that happened in the episode, we had some kissing. Two episodes of kissing. We don't get points for kissing.
No.
But
in any form.
But Rick's getting lucky. And
so what's her name? Gina?
Yeah, Gina
and the doc?
And the girl I dropped.
Yeah.
My waiver wire, I dropped her.
Still no points either way.
Still no points. But no, I was okay with the episode. The only thing I have a problem with, and this is a prevalent theme, is all the people in Alexandria, and usually when Rick and the crew, who are the able and capable zombie hunters, whenever they meet people who are just new and they're like fresh to the world, they're so incompetent. And all these people in Alexandria are like, I get tired of being like, well, they've never fought a zombie, so they don't know what they're doing, type thing.
Yeah, and you wrote to me early in the episode and said that exact thing. And you were like, I'm tired of these guys not being able to do anything. And I was kind of keying in on that. I found it interesting in this episode, people that come from Alexandria actually outscored anyone from Rick's crew.
Yeah.
We didn't draft any of those players, and for good reason. Up to this point, they have done almost nothing. Except like die. I guess we'd get lots of dying points.
Like every week is like more waiver wiring because you're like, all right, cool, get rid of him.
Get rid of it. Jessie, the girl that Rick is starting to get close with, she had some zombie kills. Yeah. She's really asserting herself more. She had like a heroic speech saying like, if we don't like learn to fight, we'll die or something.
Yeah,
I just said live together, die alone, and figured that would just go with that.
we don't get points for preachy speeches, but at the beginning of the season, I said we should have an honorary category for it. So there's two of that, one from Jesse and one from Rick, obviously.
And then
another from Deanna's son about the food in the pantry.
Yeah, okay.
But
the other thing is Aaron, he was the scout that was out with Daryl for a little while. He lost his pack and was the reason that the wolves came back. He's feeling really guilty about this, so he decides to go out with Maggie to try and find Glenn or rescue Glenn, see if Glenn's alive at all. And there's a scene where they go down into a sewer.
Yes.
And Maggie, who is part of the Rick's crew, and you would think the whole time she's like, I can do this by myself. I don't need your help. And you expect her to be the one that's kind of, knocking zombies in the head. She's the one that gets knocked back. She's the one that requires getting saved, basically, and it's Aaron who takes out both of the zombies in the sewer. To be fair, they were heavily saturated, so she was basically just pushing her hands through them, which is kind of gross, but anyway.
Just the smell. The smell alone.
But repeatedly through this episode, I kept thinking, okay, here's where Maggie's going to get some points. Here, Rick's going to do something here. Anybody, just nothing.
We find out that Maggie is, in fact, pregnant.
Yes, she drops that bombshell in the...
And you asked me last night, you sent to me, you said, did we know she's pregnant? And Chelsea and I, my wife, we'd been talking just throughout the season, and she's like, I bet she's pregnant. I bet she's pregnant. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And sure enough.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and so that was one of the reasons why she's staying behind.
How many condoms can they have in this post-apocalyptic?
They loot all kinds of other things. They must be able to find
some prophylactics.
But they have a shelf life, so stay safe, kids.
Stay safe.
Anyway, in the zombie apocalypse, no sex is the only safe sex.
What else? Another thing we talked about too. They kind of assume Glenn is dead already, and that was kind of weird to us because they go into this episode, and there's this air of Glenn's probably dead already, which is a weird conclusion to jump to considering it's Glenn and he's lived through a lot and he's kind of of any of the survivors, I think he was probably one of the most experienced outside of maybe Daryl and Rick at this point. And I think from a viewer's perspective, we have that doubt that Glenn's maybe dead. There's nothing to me that for the characters inside the show for them to automatically get to that conclusion.
The only thing I can think of is I think Michonne and the small group that she was with, they were relatively close by when Glenn was stuck in the alleyway, and they managed to get out, but they were kind of aware that Glenn and the other dude
maybe,
but still that doesn't. It was just a weird stretch for them to be like, oh, let's write his name on a memorial wall because he's probably not coming back. So didn't like that, but luckily they washed it off at the end, and they'll maybe name their kid Aaron.
Maybe so.
Anything else before we jump into the score?
I will say that I mentioned before that I like slow burn episodes for character development and stuff. And I will say that even though this is a slow burn episode, I still prefer the Morgan episode of last week. Yeah. Maybe it's a matter of because they do focus on multiple characters that nobody.
They have to share time with everybody, so you don't get a huge chunk of development.
It's just like Trump being on NBC for only 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you have to share that screen time with the other characters.
I wrote a note about it. I said that this episode reminded me a lot of Fear the Walking Dead, in that period where they were stuck in the town, where the military had everybody closed off, where they're basically stuck in some walls, couldn't leave, couldn't really go do much, and so it was just more of the interconnection between the characters and how that developed. So it felt a lot like a mid-season Fear the Walking Dead episode to me. But
gotcha.
Anyway,
All right.
So shall we?
That's it. So the reason we talk at length about the episode is because when it comes down to points, there's not really much length to talk about.
Literally, if it wasn't for Deanna, I think, the leader of the town, being incompetent and repeatedly stabbing a zombie in the chest, we would have had 0 points in this episode. But thankfully, Rick came to her aid and stabbed that zombie in the head. So he did get a zombie kill for this episode, 5 points. Do we give him a save for that? I mean,
I don't. I didn't give her a save because she eventually would have stabbed him in the head.
She was stabbing everywhere else. She was covered in blood.
She was going after. So but, I only gave.
But Rick did get the killing blow in that case.
Not that it matters.
It doesn't. It's the only score in the whole episode. So 5 points for Team Travis. Thanks to Rick. Nothing for Team Brandon. And that's it.
I will say that I'm giving Deanna an honorary award, and it's the closest to being in Ash versus the Evil Dead, and that's why I actually wore the shirt because if you guys have watched Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I know you're going to watch it soon, there's so much like gory blood, but like humorous. And when she's stabbing that zombie repeatedly, and the blood just going all over, I'm like, this could be
What network am I
like
on?
if
Do I have to
if
change
Rick
it?
doesn't come up and save her, Ash certainly is coming with the boomstick and a
There you go.
chainsaw hand.
There you go. Well, yeah. So that's it for this week. That is. So this is the 5th episode.
That's right.
I have 4 wins.
That's right. I'm dying.
1 for you. You had your 1 Carol episode. That was it.
And Michonne.
Michonne
Yeah.
got you a win.
No, she didn't give me a win, but she's badass.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. What did you guys think about this episode? We want to know. Did you like the show? Do you like the way that the season is going? Leave that down in the comments below. And yeah, let us know what you guys think about Walking Dead Fantasy League.
Yeah, please do. And be sure to check us out every Tuesday on Geekade for Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Yeah, weekly podcast. Please like this video and subscribe to the Geekade YouTube channel for more outstanding Geekade content. Until next week, I'm Travis.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll see you next time.
See you guys.